Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Who Is series, where we take a deep dive into the lore and backstory of fighting game characters. Before we get started, make sure to hit that like and subscribe button, or Drahmin will send you to the Netherrealm. Anyways, as you just heard, the topic of today's video is the Oni tormentors themselves, Moloch and Drahmin.
Welcome to hell! But Drahmin's bloodlust has only just begun.
Before we get into the story of Drahmin and Moloch, I just want to mention some of their physical characteristics. First, Moloch. He's a very simple design, just kind of a brutish blue ape-like kind of creature, alongside with his signature weapon, his big ball chain. And with Drahmin, he wields an iron club mounted on his right arm. He also has a sword lodged into his left shoulder, and wears a very important mask. It's an artifact called the Face of Kung Lo. Wearing it allows him to control his rage and fight with his disciplined Netherrealm style. Removing it causes him to go into Oni style, where he loses his focus and attacks with murderous insanity. To start off, let's talk about the man behind the mask. Not much is known about Drahmin's life before the Netherrealm, but we do know that centuries ago he was a cruel human warlord in Outworld. However, for his crimes he died and was exiled to the Netherrealm, where he would be tortured for all eternity. And as those years dragged on, they began to weigh down on Drahmin, and he fell further and further into insanity, until his humanity was completely lost. At one point, he accepted his fate, and gave into the power of the Netherrealm. He then re-emerged from the depths as Drahmin, the Oni tormentor. As for his ally Moloch, has most likely always been an Oni, and we know even less about him. Speaking of, what is an Oni? The Oni are a race of vicious demons that inhabit the Netherrealm. They appear throughout the games with many different iterations, with the first playable Oni being Drahmin and Moloch. Most of the time, the Oni appear as large, monstrous creatures possessing sharp claws, wild hair, and most of the time, 2 long horns growing from the sides of their heads. Besides this, they appear mostly human in shape. However, some, like Moloch, possess more ape-like features, and are burly with glowing yellow eyes. They're known for their extreme savagery and cruelty. Many of them take pleasure in tormenting the souls of the Netherrealm. The Onis seem to have a sort of hierarchy, in which the larger and more powerful members are known as Oni warlords. Oni are said to roam the wastelands of the Netherrealm, always on the search for souls to torment for their own sick pleasure. Those that dwelled on Shang Tsung's island also appeared to demonstrate cannibalism by eating their dead. There actually is a possibility that a human being can become an Oni, such as the case of Drahmin, which for his crimes in life was taken to the Netherrealm and became an Oni. As you may have caught on, I will be calling Drahmin and Moloch the Onis, or the Oni, as in the race that they are. But this now brings us to Mortal Kombat Deadly Alliance, where Drahmin had allied with Moloch, and had gotten the title Oni Tormentor. The two Oni proceeded to roam the 5th plane of the Netherrealm, in search of more souls to torment. After centuries, the two demons came upon a battling Scorpion and Quan Chi. Quan Chi, on his ropes from Scorpion, pleaded for help from the Oni. Drahmin and Moloch intervened and drove off Scorpion. After the two Oni requested payment for their service, Quan Chi agreed to liberate them from the Netherrealm. The two agreed and led the sorcerer to an ancient structure, rumored to be a gateway to other realms. Quan Chi, studying the ruins, discovered that it was a dormant portal that could be used with the amulet of Shinnok, that was currently in the sorcerer's possession. Suddenly, Scorpion appeared yet again, ready to fight, and Quan Chi took his opportunity as a distraction to activate the portal and escape from the Netherrealm, attempting to leave the Oni behind. The portal had not closed, for all 4 managed to pass through, and the two Oni found themselves in Outworld, with both Scorpion and Quan Chi nowhere to be seen. Now, seemingly free, Drahmin and Moloch began searching for Quan Chi. On the search, they killed all they encountered. They then encounter the cyborg Cyrax and the Outworlder Li Mei. Both escaped the Oni's clutches. Shang Tsung found the two after. He and Quan Chi had formed the Deadly Alliance. As a precautionary measure, Shang Tsung employed both Oni as a safeguard measure against inevitable treachery from his partner, keeping the Oni hidden beneath his palace, and paid them with both mortals to feed upon and the promise of revenge against Quan Chi. While waiting for this opportunity, the Oni once again encountered Scorpion, this time overcoming the Spectre. Knowing that they can't devour a Spectre, the Onis proceeded to dump his body into a Solnado. After this is the events of Mortal Kombat Armageddon, and in its conquest mode, Drahmin appears at the beginning of the level in the Netherrealm. He lost his fight against Taven, and then proceeds to run away. Most likely, like the other opponents of Taven, Drahmin was an illusion created by Shinnok to test him. Drahmin is then seen fighting with the forces of darkness in the Battle of Armageddon, where, unfortunately, he died along with almost every other combatant. This is not the end of Drahmin, however. He is briefly seen in the Mortal Kombat X comics. It is important to note most of the MKX comics are non-canon, and at least I'm not 100% sure what parts are canon. It was kind of hard to research. So take this with a grain of salt. Towards the end of the MKX comics, after Havoc's plan nearly succeeded, he was decapitated by Scorpion and brought to the Netherrealm, where Scorpion gave Havoc to the two Onis, and eventually to Quan Chi, in order to torture him. Just before Scorpion was about to leave, the Onis mentioned Scorpion's betrayal of Quan Chi, and fight with Scorpion escaping. After this, the Oni gave Havoc to Quan Chi, because of his betraying of him. While Quan Chi was happy that he had his traitor, he says that Scorpion was the real prize, and kills Moloch for not obtaining him. Drahmin, surprised, desperately pleads with Quan Chi that he needs him. Unfortunately, this doesn't work, and Drahmin is killed. While this may be the end of Drahmin and Moloch as of now, with the return of many 3D era characters, it's very possible that they may come back in MK1, and even whatever MK13 is. He probably will come back as a cameo if he returns in MK1, as there are very few roster slots left. With that being said, though, thank you all for watching. The two Onis history is short, but sweet, and I hope you enjoyed. The Drahmin personally is my favorite, or at least one of my favorite 3D era characters. While Moloch, I don't really care nearly as much about. I feel like he's kind of a brainless sidekick to Drahmin. I find Drahmin really interesting, and I think he has crazy potential if he's added later in a game. So, please do remember to drop a like and subscribe. Comment down below anything you want to see next. So I will see you all in the next video. Bye, and be good people. To start off, let's talk about the man behind the mask. Not much. This now brings us to the Oni's first appearance in a Mortal Kombat game. That was a bad wipe. Before we get into the story, I just want to mention that Drahmin wields